Oh shit. Here we go again.
Okay, let's go.
Bring it. Yo, what's up? It's your boys, Wes and Skivvy here, coming through with the Honest 2 podcast.
What's good, everybody? Good to be back.
First show of 2020. Yeah. It's been a long time. It's been about 3 months. Like Wes said on the video, we've been planning for the last 3 months.
100%, heaps of planning, but without further ado, we've got our mate here, our inspiration. He's one of our inspos. So if you haven't checked out our Instagram, our first guest for 2020 is FastTwitch. He likes to be known as FastTwitch,
I like to be known as FastTwitch, but my gang doesn't like FastTwitch.
Oh, okay. Well, you can give
so
a
just
little...
call me FastTwitch.
His gang is right here, so...
It's a pleasure to be on, boys.
Yeah,
seriously,
so
man.
first of all, also a big thank you for everything you've done for us, because you're a big inspiration. You're pretty much the reason why we started our podcast. So
Smiling at me.
For the camera. This is for the camera. This is for the camera. But carry on.
But yeah, so a quick intro, because I know you like to talk a lot. So just a quick, brief intro on yourself, who you are, and what you're doing at the moment. So, and we'll go from there.
Sweet as. Well, first of all, it's a pleasure to be on the Honest to Who podcast, man. The last time we saw each other, you guys were on the other side of your boys' podcast. So this is pretty rare for me to be on the other side. I'm usually the one asking questions, but well, first of all, thanks for having me on. My name is FastTwitch. For everyone that out there that don't know me, it's probably a handful of them out there, man. There's probably a handful of them out there.
Living under rocks.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm probably living out here. That's where they're living. My name is FastTwitch. Gideon Walese. I am Samoan. I was born in Samoa, raised in New Zealand, and reside over in Rosebery at the moment. So
where's your village in Samoa?
Vaimoso. I'm in Vaimoso. You know where that is?
Oh, that's where
Vaimoso is.
Next with no. That's with that's the other foot. That's in Savai.
Wrong foot.
It's the third foot.
Oh, you said.
Yeah. This is Vaimoso, right by up here. Right by. I don't know if you guys good with the geographical area of Samoa.
My mate hasn't been there. I was there when I was about 13, 14, so I haven't been back since.
Yeah. Well, I thought, when was the last? I don't even, bro. That's the thing. Like, you come out of Samoa. I don't even remember the last time I went back.
Oh, actual.
Yeah, but like back to my story anyway.
Yes.
I live in Rosebery now, mate. I used to play professional basketball back in last year.
We went there. I warned you.
You know, I forgot to. People might not who don't know FastTwitch. They probably also know what I used to be called in rugby when I first moved over. You guys probably already know the name.
Yeah, we do. Let the listeners know.
For all of you guys listening out there, they used to call me left shoulder hospital, right shoulder graveyard, straight out there, man. When I first came over, it's a funny story about the footies actually. Bro. When I first came over, I went to Parramatta 2 Blues. Me and team went over to 2 Blues their prize giving.
Oh, yeah. And, is that rugby union, eh?
Yeah, rugby union. And the boys just invited me over because like I was staying with Nico at the time when I first moved over, and they took me over there and they put me in the table where the coaches and the managers were. So your boy got up at tipsy and started telling them that I left the Chiefs. I told him I left the Chiefs. I was like, yeah, man, like the Chiefs weren't giving me much game time, you know, and I know what I got to bring to the table, and you know they weren't appreciative of my talent, so I thought I'll come give Waratahs a crack.
Oh wow!
So they believed me.
Oh wow!
Help out! When the season started next one, they do this write up in the paper of all the new signings and stuff. See, your boy cracked the paper, right? He's like, we got a lot of promise coming to 2 Blues this year. We got a Gideon Walese from the Chiefs. So ever since then, I've been letting them down. Ever since then. They saw me play and they go, what Chiefs did you play for again? I was like, sorry, mate. But ever since then, my rugby career just started dwindling. Started just going down the drain, man. And then my girlfriend didn't even believe I played rugby. She still takes the mickey out of, like, when I first met her, she goes, what do you do for a living? I said, I play rugby. And then she was like, why is all your stories just you recording every game? I said, that's injury. Waratahs are saving me. Waratahs are saving me.
Oh, freaking hell.
But yeah, man, that was a little story of how I came into Australia and been here ever since. It's been here for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Loving every day, man. it was a good little move from New Zealand to Australia, and you get to meet boys like you guys, man. You guys are good
Good
dudes.
to meet you.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
let's just rewind it back a little bit.
Yeah, man.
So what was the reasoning, or actually back to New Zealand? So you grew up in New Zealand, yes?
I grew up in New Zealand, yeah. So, so I was born in Samoa, moved to New Zealand when I was like 2 years old.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in New Zealand did you say?
When I first moved over, we stayed with my auntie at, was it Manurewa?
Oh, so you went to Auckland first?
Yeah, I know.
Rewa hard, eh?
Rewa, yeah, apparently. Apparently, man. But, so this is what actually happened. Like, when people ask me about my story, like, I'm actually really proud of my story because it's not really my story; it's my parents' story.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a byproduct of the sacrifice they went through. So, like, in Samoa, when I was 2 years old, there was a cyclone.
Oh, really?
Collapsed our house and everything. My dad tells me the story. He's like, "How he saved me? He jumped over me." But I was like, "Are you sure?" He jumped over me. I was like, "Totally, Lord Tom Cruise." And then he goes, jumped over me and saved me, and he's like, shows me the gashes on his arm. I'm pretty sure he just pushed my crib to the side. And then, but anyways, our house collapsed, and then we ended up taking a chance. The old man, he started calling around to get some money so we could move to New Zealand.
Yep.
And he ended up forking out the money, and we're supposed to go to New Zealand for 2 years. Ended up being like 26 years. Oh, sorry, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We're supposed to go 2 weeks. Ended up being 26 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I keep telling people a return ticket in Samoa just means one way. So we ended up moving over.
So what's the immigration like in New Zealand?
Well,
They
they
still-
should be a lot stronger than what it was, man. I don't know. I feel like we sort of exposed their system over there, man. So it's funny because when I was going for like job interviews when I was like 18, 19, on my thing it says I got into New Zealand like 1994. But then they see there's like a 4-year gap where we got our residence. They always ask me about that gap, eh?
Yeah.
They don't care about my credentials, mate. They always ask me about that gap.
You said I had a gap year.
Well, I had a gap year. Yeah. But little do people know that 4 years we were overstayers. We're illegal immigrants in New Zealand.
So just cash in hand? Was that what you were
Not
doing?
even cash in hand. Like, oh yeah, bro, it actually was cash in hand. But it was like back in the day where it was like real bad, eh? So we stayed with our auntie at first, but because she was struggling at the time as well. She had 2 mouths to feed, and it was a lot harder when you bring in another
family.
Another family. So we ended up getting kicked out. We got kicked out, but then this is where the sacrifice of my parents came. Where they started working at the onions and stuff. They took us there, and they have my sister. She'll like cover me from the sun while my parents are working. It got to the point where my parents were like, we were couch surfing for like 7 months of those 2 years. We were couch surfing, just like knocking on like pastors' doors, seeing if we can just stay like a couple of weeks until we get onto our feet. But we never did for that amount of time, eh? So that went on. Like it got to the point where my mum always tells me like she jumped the fence of our neighbours to go dig up some pakekas, to come over and just to feed us, or mainly me. And then, so that went on for like a few years. That's when we were overstaying, and that's when I'm always proud to tell my story because that's like my parents' sacrifice there. Yeah. Everything I try to do now is try to get back to them. But that's where it was. The first when we were raised in what was it? I think it was from 96 to like 96 to 2000. We were doing that.
Yeah. In Auckland.
In Auckland.
Yeah, and then what?
But this is where the story really happens. Like after that, after living running from the police and stuff. Not really running. They just couldn't find us. They were the hide and seek champions, man. We were the hide and seek champions, man. But yeah, so it wasn't until I remember it was the day before Christmas. I think it was 1999. Bro, we got into this huge crash, like this huge car crash. Wow. It was funny because the irony was I was the only one. I was sitting on my mum's lap. And I was the only one I didn't walk away because I was still a bit young, but I was the only one that came out unscathed. Oh, wow. My brother broke his arm, my dad's smashed his sternum, my mum got a huge concussion, and we ended up at the hospital. And it was the day before Christmas, and my parents were like, they came to New Zealand for this idea. They thought they would live a better life. Yeah. But it was even worse than what we were doing in Samoa. So they thought they'd just tell the police the truth. Yeah. And like, hey, listen. We've been illegally here. We're not supposed to be here. You found me.
Hi.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They're like, you know what? We'll just tell them the truth. And my parents told them who we really are. And but mind you, for the past 2 years, I've been trying to apply for a permanent residency for a long time. Yeah. But then it wasn't until later on that day the police came back. They're like, I don't know if you believe in miracles or anything, but your guy's residency got approved last week. And this was just before that. Wow. And then the best thing was a church. And so this is how we ended up transitioning from Auckland to the Bay of Plenty. It's Palangi area. That's why I'm really good at my Palangis. I love Palangis.
I can see that. half-casting you.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Eh? I went from this church heard about our story, and they ended up asking us if we wanted to come down there. Like they'll drive us over. They ended up giving us a house. They paid our rent for 6 months until we were on our feet. They gave my dad a job, and then from then, like that's when my dad started getting his contract, and he started becoming that's when he started his journey to become a pastor.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then from then he became a pastor, and then that's how I ended up in Papamoa.
Oh, right. So what was that? What congregation was that?
AOG.
AOG.
It was AOG.
Yeah,
AOG. Which one of you guys are
Yeah,
AOG?
that's me.
AOG.
Oh, man. Hello.
Catholic.
Oh,
Catholic. Oh, we're red today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's what happened, eh?
Yeah, well, that brings us to our first question. Was,
man.
what was it like growing up as the Fefe'au's son?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question, man. Yeah, people, like, they always see the pastor's kid, man. I feel like growing up, you get a lot of pressure put on you, eh? Because you're supposed to be the sort of person, like the shadow of your dad.
Yeah.
My dad, he was a pretty good dude, too.
Are you the oldest?
Nah, I'm the youngest.
Youngest.
I'm the, like,
So
we ended up.
how many of you are there?
So, bro, it's funny, yeah. It was like, I got 7 brothers,
Yeah.
and I got
Oh.
4 sisters.
So how many were you here in New Zealand? Like when
Nah,
you guys
so
came over?
the majority of my brothers and sisters are half.
Yeah.
But then I have 1 full brother and 1 full sister. And then I also have another sister now who eventually adopted.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it was tough, you know, like, but the thing was, like, because especially it wasn't as bad for us because we were in Papamoa, so it wasn't really many Samoans. You know, it's where it's the Samoans that give you the most sort of judgment and pressure, especially as a pastor's kid. You know, that's when you get the murmurs around church, like, oh, bro. So it wasn't as bad for us, but like I have a lot of friends who are pastors' kids. The pressure that they feel, and then it's funny because they end up in a way they end up rebelling. Like they rebel from the actual, you know, they don't do an easy transition. They just completely rebel, and then all the pastors' kids I know, they have kids, like you know, it's so cool. That's supposed to be bad when you get kids without being married.
Out of wedlock and stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And like, bro, pretty much every pastor. And the sad thing was, like, my parents say, like back in the day, like they used to look at this other pastors' kids, and they look at me and say, "Why can't you be like them, mate?" And then and then I was like, now they all got kids. I was like, "Oh, you still want me to be like them over there, mate?" Yeah, their parents are giving them the same speech now. Why can't you be like Gideon? Man? I don't know. I hope you're listening out there. Yeah, that's right. The tables have turned, man.
Yeah, so like I sort of noticed as well growing up in church, like the pastors' kids, they used to get hammered, eh?
Right.
Like, man, the girls, the daughters, especially the daughters.
Yeah, especially the daughters.
And if they wore something that was, if they
Right.
could see a little bit of the kneecap or anything,
Uh-huh.
after that on the Sunday big feed, everyone would be like,
Oh, that's it.
Did you see her dress?
That's exactly it, eh?
Man, your daughter's wearing a shorter dress.
Totally,
But
like,
because she's the pastor's kid.
They get that. They get
Man,
that.
they
They
get
get
hammered.
scrutinized. The biggest is the pastor's daughters, eh?
And then was there pressure to like believe in God?
Yeah,
you?
100%, bro.
Do you like? Do you
Do I
believe
believe
in
in
God?
God?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. But
But is that because of how you grew up with
Nah,
that,
that's-
or
that's
is
a good
like do you question
You
stuff?
know,
like
like this is
still
that's a real good question, man. That's because I feel like as Samoans we're like conditioned to not ask questions.
Yeah,
growing up,
100%.
like we're conditioned to not ask questions. So we're not really raised with a curious mind. But just out of chance, like I was born, I always had a curious mind. I was like I always question how things happen. Like even to the point where I started questions like, if my parents weren't Christians, would I be a Christian? If they're atheists, would I be an atheist? And like I'm lucky to the point where I hit a point where I was sort of independent away from my parents. It allowed me time to sort of recalibrate and think like, hey,
Just grow
do I really believe in God? Like, do I only believe in God because of my parents?
Yeah, 100%.
And then through that little journey there, I actually came to the conclusion that I believe in God. Eh? Like, I do believe there is something higher out there. It's like, man, there has to be.
Yeah.
But I do understand, like, as you said there, like, I feel like a lot of Samoan kids, they don't have that sort of privilege of, you know,
of trying to
yeah.
like believe what they believe instead of believe what they've been told.
Yeah,
you know.
that's exactly. Like, how about you guys? Were you guys like that? Or your parents like highly Christians? Where
Yeah, my parents, they're fully devoted. Like, my dad, he's a bit of a bad boy growing up, so he, God was the reason why he turned 360 and become this person. Like, he catches up with his mates, like back from New Zealand, and they're like, man, this guy's changed completely. So like, for my dad, it was like he had to change in a way. But yeah, I don't know. For us, it still is forced to go to church. Like when we go up,
Yeah.
when I go up to like visit my parents in Brisbane, they're like, son, can you bring some church clothes so you can come to church? But like, yeah, I don't know. Like the churches, I don't know, just turned really ugly. For me, I feel like a lot of the culture gets mixed with religion, and that's where once culture takes over, it's
that's it. That's exactly it.
No, yeah, I'm like similar, man. That actually, my dad is a Methodist, so my dad was Methodist, and mum's Catholic, but mum took over. Like we went to Catholic church every Sunday.
So growing up with a Catholic upbringing.
Yeah, so Catholic upbringing, Catholic
strict,
school.
eh?
Yeah, it was pretty strict, but at the same time, like I was never like that. I always like, I just went there because mum, nana, all my family were going there. But ever since we came to Australia, kind of like it wasn't like we still got our church here in Australia, but like it just with new cultures coming into play, seeing at school, and you're like, there's like, you know, there's
so
other cultures,
that's
other
exactly
religions. So I know for me, I just similar to Skivvy, like just question you know, you got to question things. You know, you only get one life, so I feel like you can question it.
I back that.
But yeah, man.
Do you
that's exactly it.
Do you have any tips for like FFL kids?
Oh, for FFL kids, man. Man, live your life, man.
Yeah, live your life.
Like, at the end of the day, like, you're going to get judged regardless. Say, growing up, I knew I was going to get judged, man. Like, freaking people, like, they'll see me. The funniest things, like, the people that judge me, like, the pastors, other pastors, kids that judge me, they judge me because they saw me out in town. I was like, what were you doing in town? They tell me out there trying to start a Sunday school, man. That was not the Holy Communion you're holding in your hand, man. That was a cruiser. That was a red cruiser, all right? I was doing vortex in town, judging me. I was like, at the end of the day, you're gonna get judged, man. Like, bro, be curious, eh? Like, ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. I feel like even growing up as a Samoan, as we established before, like we don't like asking questions because our parents say stop asking questions. You don't answer back. Like what you do as you're told, which fair enough to an extent, but. Like, we actually take that sort of mindset to school. Like, so, like, bro, I remember, that's weird. Well, I went to school, like, when I went to my first days in school, I couldn't speak English. Yeah. So, like, I got bullied. But the sad thing from women, like, girls were bullying me. Yeah, hard. I was like, totally. I tell people, I was a dude of long hair. But, totally, I was like, I always got bullied because I couldn't really speak English. But in class, like, I had so many questions. But, like, in my head, I was like, I'm not allowed to ask questions. I'm not allowed to sort of speak back to the person that's teaching you. And then, like that, the sad thing was I took that, like, I feel like I left so much on the table. I could have learned a lot more if I knew what I knew now. But back when I was a kid, I feel like I would have known a lot more, and I learned a lot more too. But, like, I feel like that's another thing. Like, of us Pacific Island, like, we shy away in the social settings of school. Like, don't ask questions, don't ask questions. And I feel like it's embedded in us at an early age.
Sort of proud of it too, in a way. I feel like a lot of islanders are just proud that, we just jigged.
Yeah,
jigging is fun.
I was like, man, there's nothing to be proud of, man. You know what's proud of? Like education, like, knowing stuff.
Bro, it's funny when you mature in age, like all those guys, they're like, oh man, now I regret jigging, like all of that stuff. Yeah, like, that's the usual.
Did you have to sacrifice anything?
To be
being a pastor's kid, did you have to sacrifice anything?
A lot of 21st, a lot of parties, a lot of, but like other than that, nah, man. Like,
so were they frowned upon you drinking? Like, was drinking?
It was funny, it's like even when I moved to Australia, my parents didn't really know.
No, you drank.
I'm the number one liar, man. I can tell a lie. But don't blame me, it's the judgments, man. They forced me into they molded me into the person.
Oh, you're a liar. You lie.
He's number one liar. I told her I'm a professional rugby player. She wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for my lies, eh? So in a way, she's thanking me for being a great liar, right? Because like otherwise, should have been of a real professional. We did, like, there was a bit of sacrifice, like, even just, you guys are probably right, even just being in part of a church, like, a lot of time outside of, like, school and stuff is devoted to church, even if it's just going to Onga Meal, or, like, going to White Sunday practices and stuff like that. It's like, that takes from your time, and, like, even at the point, like, you don't believe in that stuff. Some people don't even believe it, but they have to go because of their parents. But there's an element of sacrifice, I believe. Especially, I only can speak from experience. But
because I sort of know a story of a pastor's kid that I sort of know and I'm quite close to, and he was very talented in footy. And because they started playing on Sunday, he wasn't allowed to play anymore.
Yeah, that's another thing,
And that just hurt because I could see that he was hurting, but you just have to do it because your dad's the pastor. Like
that's
you can't.
exactly it, bro.
Like, yeah. So that.
You know what I blame on that Sunday? Michael Jones.
Oh,
He ruined it for all of us, that Michael Jones fella, man.
All the parents, even my parents, like if I come home and I'm like, oh, how'd you go, son? Nah, we lost. Yeah, that's what happens when you play on Sunday. And I'm thinking, bro, we lost because they were the better team, yeah,
like.
I know.
It's like, bro, honestly, that's why my parents, like, every time one parent, like, because we have trolls on, and it's always on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then my olds would be like, wait, Michael Jones didn't play on a Sunday. He made the All Blacks.
Silly, hard.
Do I look like Michael Jones? You've seen me play. I can't pass the ball.
Michael Jordan.
All right, that's exactly it. But like, I feel like there's huge sacrifices growing up. I wouldn't just say pastor kid. I'll say as a Christian in general, like especially a Pacific Island, because what we tend to do is we mix religion with our culture, and that the strictness of the religion's already there, but then you add on culture. Right, it can be overbearing for some kids, man. Yeah. Especially growing up, that's why I feel like there's a lot of pastors' kids and just Christians I know in general are quite depressed.
Yeah,
especially Pacific Samoans, Samoans, like they're quite depressed, and I feel like it's because like their upbringing, and they're told not to share their voice or anything like that.
Voice their opinion.
Yeah, that's
say
exactly
anything.
it. No, nothing. And I feel like that's is a big sort of thing that goes behind it.
That's good. Also, that's something we didn't know. Like, just you're on a serious note with being a Fefeo's son. So, no, that's good. So we'll move from you moved here to Australia, and you were what did you do as a job? What was your first job here?
Here we go. Buckle up,
man. Like, you know what? It's like it reminds me of that story, like the Karate Kid story. You know, when you first start up as something, you're quite kaya. You start at the bottom. Before he won the tournament, he was sanding floors. Yeah. And that was all part of the lesson. He was waxing cars. Yeah. Wax on, wax off. Yeah. Paint the fence, up, down. Yeah. And I feel like that was like my story. When I started at the bottom. Yeah. I'm still here, but I'm higher than when I started. Yeah. So when I first started, I was. What
was the job?
All right, I was just a straight scaffold labourer.
Oh, scaffold.
I'm insulting scaffolders by putting scaffold. I was a labourer. I was a labourer, bro. Honestly. But the thing was, my dad taught me, if you get a job, you do that job to the best of your ability, man. I was the best labourer. Like, not like performance-wise, but like, I'll make the boys happy and stuff. Like, I'll come to work with a smile on my face.
So you labour their feelings.
Yeah. You're the well-being officer, Eels. You're the well-being officer.
Honestly, I was just there for morale. Like, I'll pump your morale up, man. I can't put that scaffold, but I can put your fucking morale up. That's why the boys do that. To the point where the boss actually told me, he's like, listen, Gideon, the only reason you're here today, we know you're a shit worker, but you make the boys happy. He said that to my face without blinking. I was like, I'm all right. I wouldn't say I'm shit worker. I'm all right. But I ended up labouring. So it was like scaffold labouring. And that was through Nico. Nico got me a job there. Nico's the only reason I'm here. Because I had a slump in New Zealand. Because he used to be my neighbour, Nico. You guys, Nico. And then he moved to Australia. And then I had a slump and I ended up hitting him up. I was like, hey, any chance you can find me somewhere to stay there or like a job? Bro, the man ended up just moving to another house with an extra room. He shifted me over and then he just, we worked together. Oh, yeah. And nice. That's when I became a so-called scaffolder, but more labourer side. But I was really good at throwing stuff up to the real workers. So I was always on the ground. I was weird. I'll rock up to work with my belt just to walk on side and take it off because I'll never use it.
Hey, just stand on there. You stand there.
So you're the aux guy, the aux guy. Just bring the radio. Gideon, you bring your radio?
I was actually there for the speaker too because I got the speaker. It's like this little black box we call a stand. Because Stan Walker's the song's Black Box. So it was like this little black box and everyone will be more happy to see the speaker than they will see me. So
if you don't go to work with the speaker, what happens?
Oh, bro, they messaged me. Gee, awkward if we come pick up the speaker. I was like, you can pick me up too. I'm available. I'm free. Honestly, my plan's just open today. If you guys want to come pick me up, sorry, but that's what it was. But honestly, I was always on the ground. It did help. I'm scared of heights. Yeah, which is weird. Why would you become a scaffold if you're scared of heights? I remember the first time they took me up. I was doing the Elvis up top. When your knees start shaking.
Yeah, are you scared of heights?
I'm terrified of heights.
My mate here too.
Yeah, bro, that sucks, man. I can't even jump off a diving board. I'm terrified of heights. What, you scared of heights too?
Yeah, but I still get up there. And my hands are sweaty up there. But Yeah, I'm pretty scared. I think it's the fear of falling. It's not the
that's
the fear of heights. I
that's
think it's
it.
the fear
Like,
of
I'm
falling.
not scared of heights. I'm just scared of dying.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I like myself. Eh?
Yeah, I love my
Are you
life,
scared to die?
Huh?
Are you scared to die?
That's when you know you got the answer. Huh?
Yeah, so
Am I scared of death? Yeah, hard out. I'm scared of death.
Because I was talking to a few of the boys that I play part-time footy with, Ruben, Rennie, and Vince Rennie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said you're really good at scaffolding.
Well, they're fucking lying to you, man. I'll tell you that much. Just tell me by your face. I know that's not what they said. I know exactly what they'll say. Yeah, let me guess. He's a funny guy. He's a nice guy. How's your work though? He's a nice guy. He's a funny dude,
funny
man.
as, eh?
Sometimes he talks to scaffold. Low, brother.
So you went from scaffolding, and now what are you doing? What did you start doing as a side hustle?
So me and my partner, we ended up doing drop shipping.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Yeah, how we ended up at drop shipping, you know, like.
And what is
drop shipping? Yeah, drop shipping. The model of drop shipping is pretty much. You create online stores where you sell products, but like when people buy something from your online store, like you ship it straight from China to them. So like, you know what I mean? Like, so let's say you want to buy hats.
Yeah.
I'll go make a store online.
Yeah.
And I'll market it through Facebook ads, Instagram ads, or whatever avenue you want to go. And let's say you see it on your Facebook feed, you click on it, and you want to buy it. So you buy it, it comes. I see it that you want to buy it, and then I just order that product from China and send it straight to you. But you don't know it's from China. You think it's from me. Like I've got an actual mean store somewhere. But that's the whole idea behind drop shipping.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing drop shipping, and we done that for like a year.
Yeah.
Like a year and a bit, and then like it was doing quite well for us too. Like we were selling all sorts, and so that's what got me out of the game about scaffolding. I started doing some drop shipping, but then the thing about drop shipping, like a product's life cycle was not that long. So it's like
so you got to keep
you got to keep finding different products, like different test different products, and like that's cool and all, but like it gets sort of it gets a bit much. It's pretty time consuming also. Like you gotta sort of spend a bit of money.
Yeah.
But so what I ended up finding out is like we're actually pretty good at just doing Facebook ads, Jazz and I. So we ended up just starting up our own Facebook agency. So what we do is we market for businesses, but strictly just Facebook ads. We specialize in Facebook ads.
Yeah.
So that's what we do now, and also now I'm still also learning how to do some copywriting as well. Copywriting is like when you write copy for online businesses. Yeah. So like when you go on their website, all the words in there, that's a copywriter is responsible for that.
Oh, nice.
So we ended up transitioning to that. So like it went from drop shipping, and now we're just doing that Facebook ads agency. With I want to slowly start trying to specialize in copywriting.
So what's your agency called?
Tribal.com.au. Don't worry if you guys out there looking for some Facebook ads.
Make your own shout out.
If you guys out there looking for a Facebook ads agency, man, head up to tribal.com.au or hit me up FastTwitch at FastTwitch _. No, at Fast_Twitch.
We're gonna charge you for that.
This guy using your platform, mate. But yeah, that's how we ended up transitioning there, right? So we do. It's just called e-com.
Yeah.
E-commerce.
So the transition from New Zealand life to the Aussie life, how did you find it? Was that a big shock? Was it was it different?
Bro, I was actually lucky because the environment was similar. Like moving from where I was a real white area, to over here, I happened to stay in a pretty wide area too. So it was like the environment was similar, but it was just what I had to get used to was the speed. Like back home,
rat race.
Yeah, that's exactly it, bro. Back at home, like in New Zealand, the speed is quite mellow. Everything is just sort of chill. You just sort of go about. It's not much traffic jams, you know.
Yeah.
But over here, it's just the speed of everything. Like things is people need to be somewhere like yesterday, and it's just like, bro, it takes a while to adapt to sort of that. Like, well, how do you guys find like the life here in Australia?
Just saying, because especially with Wes living in New Zealand, he said that because I've only been to New Zealand for footy, I haven't been for anything else. So the lifestyle in New Zealand is very chilled, very relaxed and stuff like that. And then here in Australia, it's like full on.
It's like, full on,
fast.
Especially Sydney. Sydney's heaps different to Brisbane now.
Yeah. Brisbane's sort of similar to New Zealand.
Like just
I've never been to New Zealand, but I heard.
But my friends told me it's similar to.
According to my calculations, Brisbane is a bit chilled like New Zealand.
Nah, he's right, man. Like Queensland's heaps chilled up there compared to, but obviously
Sydney's pretty crazy, eh?
Yeah, Sydney's really crazy.
Like my partner's from Perth, so like we go to Perth.
Perth's even slower.
It's only hard out. Yeah. There's hardly any cars on the road. I won't go that far, but like it's like it's like you can notice straight away. Like they operate on a different frequency. Over here, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, everyone's in the rush. Everyone's doing things here, but that's what I like. I feel
everyone's got jobs here and shit.
Yeah,
back in New Zealand, like everyone's chill because they got nowhere to be, man.
Everyone's drinking on a Wednesday. Freaking hell.
Yeah, that's what I was like. But no, honestly, over here it's just crazy. Yeah, but it has its perks. Like I slowly became accustomed to the speed over here in Sydney. I kind of like it now. Like I love that energy. Like I love the fact that I can wake up at like 2, look outside and there's like life. There's like still life out there. People are moving around and stuff. Yeah. And like I actually enjoy it. Like, even the nightlife over here is crazy. You know, like nightlife compared over here. Nightlife isn't like just when I go out with my partner, when I go out with my girlfriend, we go out
what nightlife are you talking about?
What's the next question?
But yeah, you are right. Like in terms of nightlife here is heaps different to back home, mate. There's no fights or anything.
Nah, especially
there's no fights back home.
Oh, there's fights, but there's fist fights over here. There's freaking gunfights.
Mate. That might be your last argument, eh? Over here, they go to a car, get a gun.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ain't about that. Like, that's why I'm the most humble dude over here. I don't care how big you are. You don't need size to pull a trigger, man.
Yeah, hard.
So whenever someone like a little palangi or bump, sorry, brother. Sorry. Hey, how are you, mate? Have a good night. You want a drink? Really hard, bro. That's what it's here. But like, that's what I noticed over here. It's like it's pretty like. Bro, it's pretty intense shit over here, right? Yeah. Over at home, like, man, if you got beef with someone,
you just fists up, have a fight. Because I've had a fight, but
what's your record on the streets?
Oh, me, I'm 1-0.
But it was 3-1. 3-1.
You got a punch in though, eh?
Yeah, got one punch.
That's exactly it, eh?
So like, because we started. You were our inspiration for podcasting, and when we came over to your studio,
yes, beautiful
studio. Yeah. So we came into the studio and we started podcasting. So we were looking through social media, and your podcast name just changed like 30 times.
That's it.
So like it started off Underdog. And then
it went to
Side Dog.
I just went to Doggy over there. Changed the doggy, but apparently it was.
So you had a few names for podcasting.
Right, it's funny that because we started this thing called Sports Plug.
Sports Plug.
That's what it was. Like, and I was like, because I had.
You're the CEO, eh?
Oh no, co-founder. We'll say co-founder. I wouldn't say CEO. I'll say co-founder. We're the co-founder. Me and the Uso Tashi.
Who's that? I don't know.
He's playing like professional rugby now. That's what we shared in common. You know, we're both professional rugby players. Yeah. So we thought we'll put our ideas together. Now he's in Japan and I'm here. And I'm taking detours to try and make it over here, man. But I ended up changing it from Underdog, and I was like, we're gonna do like a sports one, because I was like, and then I changed it to Couch Critic. Where we're supposed to get the idea was we're supposed to get some sports people in and talk about sports and stuff. But then someone put the plug on Sports Plug. I think that's why we call it Sports Plug.
Pull the plug whenever you want.
Yeah, that's it. But we're hoping to plug it back in soon. But then that changed, and then like after that was a bust. I was like, fuck. I want to put it back to Underdog, because they had all these. It's funny, like when you start a podcast, you actually get people hitting you up. Yeah, that's why I had these business guys like, hey, it'd be cool to jump on your potty. And my brother, he's a PT over at Virgin Active, so he meets a lot of successful people there, right? And then I just happen to be there. And then like we vibe, and then I end up asking him just to jump on the. Bro, they're flattered from that shit, man. Yeah. Like, jump on my potty, and you expect man, it'll be cool. But like, you free Monday? You free Monday, bro? That's how I ended up getting all these. Like I had a guy who owns his own scooter business. Yeah. I had a guy that owns his own marketing agency. My mentor now, he shows me the ropes. Yeah. And then like, bro, I just had some random like these PTs and like. Beats, when I first started, I just had my boys on. I had you guys, I had Nico, Shua. I was doing the rotation for the boys. Lucky those Palangi score, because I would have just had you guys coming one by one after that. But that was it. But now, like transitioning from that, me and my Uso Joey, he was on the show. So he runs his own Nation 33. So we're gonna end up. So we started up our own little podcast now that we're gonna be dropping over the next couple of days. And
what's that gonna be called?
That's called Did We Ask podcast.
Did We Ask?
Basically, where you can share our opinion of unwarranted opinion because no one asked. But then again, like they can't say shit because the name of the whole podcast is Did We Ask?
Yeah.
So you guys can't beat it. Like you beat the punch. Like fucking like like the Eminem. At the end, how he makes fun of himself, so the other people can't make fun.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly our plan.
Yeah.
Is the one with that mile size. Yeah, the 8 mile, but yeah, so we got that going on, man. But like seriously, boys, on a serious note, like you guys, what you guys have been doing, that's when I walked in here. Last time we spoke about your guys' podcast, it was just an idea.
Yeah.
You had the same notebook over there, over at my house, writing down. It's the same notes.
It's the same notes.
Same notes.
There's the same notes writing.
What
it
about
down.
that notebook over there?
At least you're taking notes, mate. Wait over there. Come and just join those S's, the 3 lines going down. It was just. Right, but honestly, to see what you guys are doing now, to walk into your guys' studio and like, bro, this is a proper studio. Like,
Nah, we're pretty thankful.
no, honestly, I'm actually honored to be here, man. Like, honestly, you guys are doing some big things, and
I appreciate that.
like going from my kitchen when I'll be talking to you, making my own ipuki at the same time, like cooking some noodles to come over here. Like, I was served a nice iced coffee this morning. Beautiful. I feel like you lacked a few more ice cubes you could have put in there, mate. The man asked me, you want hot coffee? Like, yeah, man. So he gave it to me. I was like, oh, it's only got a straw, man.
Yeah, no.
So you're grateful?
Yeah, sorry. The moral of my story is I'm extremely grateful, boys.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm super proud. And like, another thing is what people don't acknowledge about your guys' podcast is like, you guys discuss topics that are frowned upon, not frowned, like controversial topics in the Samoan.
Well, that's
like,
what we like. That's what we want to do, you know. Right. So you got people like you can voice your opinion, you know, but and others as well. So. Yeah, I just feel like it needs to be voiced, especially from our culture, our religion, and everything like that. That's exactly
it. And that's what I love about your guys' podcast, because there's no other podcasts out there like your guys. Like, you guys actually address topics that need to be addressed, like, especially as a Samoan. Yeah. Like, that's why I'm so proud when I hear your guys' episodes. Like, you guys are addressing proper things, and like, even if you guys don't find the solution, the fact that you guys are starting the conversation, just planting a seed, like, and that helps. Like, I don't know, if I was younger and growing up and I heard a podcast like your guys, like, it'll open the way of my way of thinking.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, man, because we've been getting like a few emails and a few like messages from young Pacific Islanders that are still in high school. So we received one last week. Yeah,
I've got her name, but yeah, she reached out to us and like for her to ask us to answer the question. I'm like,
that's exactly it. That's the kind of social figure you guys are becoming. That's just from. So I remember, because that was your guys' sort of target audience. I remember when you guys came over, I was like, who are you trying to target? And you guys straight away was like young Pacific Islanders. Like, you know, they're just looking for some clarity anywhere it can be, and like you guys have addressed it. Like, super proud, man. And thanks for having me on. Like.
Yeah, so we'll just move on to like, so just to end it, like, what are your plans for the future? Like in the next 2 to 3 years, business wise and FastTwitch wise, or you and your partner, what are your plans in the next 2 to 3 years?
Well, we already planned. We want to try to get married next year. That's a big plan right there.
Oh,
it's funny, yeah.
Proposed?
Nah, that's the funny thing. I haven't dropped the knee yet. Got tendonitis. Got tendonitis. I told her, babe, you keep massaging my quads one day, my knee will bend, man. Nah, but bro, like, we got a funny relationship. Like, I moved in before I asked her out. I moved into her house. I was like, I moved in, and then like a couple of weeks after that, I was like, might as well. You want to be my girlfriend? And then we became.
Bro, that's the total opposite.
Yeah, I know. Like, so we do things backwards. So it wasn't strange for us to sort of. I told her, like, listen, I reckon we should get married next year. Yeah. And she's like, all for it too. And then like, not once did she ask when you're gonna propose.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, all right. So like, you trust the process, man. Famous words of the Sixers: trust the process. You trust the process.
So are you gonna like? On that, are you gonna do the reception first and then the service after? How's it gonna work?
I want to get everyone wasted first. That's a real good question. Yeah. Hey, babe, write this down. I can write this down. That's actually a good little question. Nah, but like that's personally that's what FastTwitch anyway. That's what we plan. But business-wise, we just want to sort of expand our business. I want to learn so much more about business because, you know, I don't want to just be labelled another Samoan who went scaffolding and stuff. Growing up, I always knew like there was more to me than just like doing laborious jobs and stuff. So like, me and my partner, we want to go like we're just going to smash out our business. I want to learn. I've got so much to learn, man, and it's exciting. That's why I surround myself with like-minded people, like business people.
Yeah, right.
So like us, people like us.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I risk my life driving here, mate, so we can talk business. But yeah, man, that's for me. That's just gonna see how far we can take tribal.
Yeah.
I want to be a well-known name in the marketing agency. Later on, probably with 2, 3, 5 years, man.
Yeah.
But that's my plan. But also on another front, FastTwitch also on another front is also our podcast. Me and the bro Joey really want to do some big things.
Yeah.
We've had some big chats. But
certain topics, like what are we looking at?
Like that's the thing. We just want to go. We're just looking to do everything. Eh?
Yeah,
I want to try this sort of generalist idea where rather than a sort of specialist, I want to try just be general and bring in all sorts. I want to bring all sorts of interesting people in.
Oh, yeah,
End of the day, I just want to bring in interesting people, have interesting conversations. And, but that's our target. But yeah, that's it. Like that's so far. Like eventually I want to move my parents over to Samoa. That's a personal thing. Like I want to retire them in Samoa within the next couple of years.
Yep.
And but yeah, other than that, man,
it's funny that a lot of Pacific Islanders do that. They leave Samoa for a better life. And then they go back to Samoa to retire.
Yeah, that's exactly
retire, or even like they want to get buried there, and you're like,
Yeah.
mate, you live more years in New Zealand or Australia than you were in Samoa, but you still want to retire or like get buried there. I'm like, man, sweet, up to you. But
I think because my mind, it's expensive to fly you to Samoa, mate. Trying to retire you over there, man. But honestly, bro, that's the thing.
it's probably cheaper to
like
retire.
your guys' parents as well. They wanna.
My parents, they're like, oh, son, if you put me in a nursing home, so like when we're arguing, do the little threats. Hey, send that.
I'll
never do that.
Send you to the nursing home, mate. The threats to yourself. It's expensive to send someone to the nursing home.
So like, they actually want to go back to Samoa and retire there, which is. I know, in a way, like you lose the connection with your parents, like because you have to travel and it's all phone calls and stuff like that. But it's just weird that's the way the circle of life is for Pacific Islander. Like they,
that's it. But then again, I understand because like they're a different generation, you know, of us.
That's the roots.
Also called millennials, like we live a different sort of lifestyle compared to them. They were born from the land; they want to end up back in the land. So it's like, but with us, like we want to sort of.
We were born on the streets. So we end up in the streets.
I on the streets, say. Vatos locos.
Must be an AOG thing, eh? No.
Wow. Where do you want to die?
Die? Huh? Nah, I'm sweet. Like, I guess it would probably be near my close ones, like whoever I'm with, family surrounding. Obviously, my dad's buried here, so, and that was a bit, I don't know, not weird, but it was fine. But I'm sure mum will want to be buried here, and my nana's in New Zealand, so, but they want to be buried in New Zealand. Yeah, so
that's what
I know it's a bit different, eh? It's like you said, man. Like they want to be buried next, like
that's
back
exactly
in Samoa.
I know. Like, me personally, I would only be buried where I made most of my memories.
Yeah, 100%.
This is more significant to me, man.
So home bar in the city.
I already tried to hit him up on that. Like, sorry, mate, it's illegal. Come on, man, you just lay me upstairs. Just let me sleep there for a bit and then just take me somewhere else. Bro, that's exactly it, right? But that's it. Like, do you guys ever talk about death? Like dying?
Nah.
I know it was a pretty, I took a bit of a dark turn.
We've spoken about it once or twice.
How do you want to die?
I want to get cremated. I don't want to be buried.
No, but how do you want to die? How do you want to spend your last breath, like before you take that permanent blink?
Oh, that's a deep question. Probably, probably
strangled.
Oh, he said.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd want it to be quick though.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be those.
Sleep?
If I say sleep will be sweet.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Just a long sleep.
Yeah.
Angie, are you awake? No.
Yeah, like I thought about it. I was like, people keep saying old age. Like I don't want to die from old age.
Yeah,
when someone else has to wipe your ass, man. Like just call me.
Nah, that's one thing
like,
that I've thought about, and I don't want to.
Yeah,
I want to be able to, walk around stuff like that. But
in your last days, last days are over. You want to walk around by your own will, man. But
I'll be grateful.
Yeah,
I'll be grateful.
Let's just try to live a full life and then don't mind when you die. Hey, coronavirus, come on, man. Come on. Okay,
all right, last question was LeBron. LeBrontology.
Oh, yes.
You say you specialize in this topic?
PhD.
So what? How'd you get on?
28 years. Spent doing
28 years
to do my PhD in LeBrontology.
Yeah.
Even before he was born.
I
was studying the art of LeBrontology. Nah, bro. Honestly, LeBrontology came from I love LeBron. You ask my missus, like she knows that LeBron. Like I ask her, never make me choose between you and LeBron. highly disappointed.
He's Bronny,
I knew LeBron before I knew you. And, bro, honestly, I love LeBron, Like, everything he stands for. Like, I don't know if you guys love LeBron. Like, I get a lot of hate from this, Like, I get random people messaging me. It's like, wow, LeBron's all shit. You're all shit. I was like, what do I do? Totally hard, but, like, I love what he stands for. Like, the fact that no other players come into the league with that amount of pressure on his shoulders, and for him to sort of go through his whole career without a blemish, a single blemish, you know, like not even a single player, not even one.
That's big.
Even high school, like he's him and Kobe were like the last ones from high school.
Yeah, that's it. To come straight from high school into the league, but like even Kobe, he was picked like.
But he's ninth.
Yeah, something like that. But like LeBron, like he was freaking, and he was projected to, you know, make it, and he lived up to it.
Yeah, 100%.
And like, bro, that's why I was like, that's what I love about him, man. I just love the way he plays. Like, he gives back to charity. One day I want to give back to charity. My account's at the moment, charity's giving back to me. But yeah, man, I'm a Lakers die-hard fan just because of LeBron. I don't follow Lakers. I follow LeBron. Anyone who's got a problem with that, FastTwitch, message me. I'm happy.
I had a problem actually because I'm a Lakers fan, and when you came on board, I was a bit iffy about it. But you know what?
Fair enough.
It is what it is.
Have you accepted me into your guys' circle there?
You're still pending at the moment. If LeBron stays another 5 years, then yeah.
What, if LeBron wins you guys a championship?
Oh man, I'll take you on.
Take me straight away, See, that's it. Like, there's so much pressure. I reckon, bro. But man, I reckon our championship's coming our way, man. Our drought's gonna finish, man.
100%.
For Kobe. Last time we said for Kobe, they lost to Trailblazers straight after. Stuff you Lakers, man.
We're a bit hot and cold there.
No, that's it. That's so inconsistent, Like,
do you think it's your year for Lakers?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, man.
Clippers not close?
Clippers, they scare me.
Because we haven't won against them.
Nah, I know. Like, that's why they scare me. And the fact that they added that Morris brother.
Morris,
Bro, that guy's a gun.
And who's the point guard they got?
Oh, IT, but I think they're going to waive
Nah,
him.
they waived them. They waived them. But like, we're putting all our chips in. Hopefully, Darren Collison signs for the Lakers because that's what we need. We need to get rid of Rondo, man. That guy pissed me off.
Rondo, I don't know. See, he's
was that?
I'm more of like our teams, like it's cemented. Like just leave them. Yeah, but I don't know. Heaps of people saying like get rid of Kuzma.
Kuzma, man. Like,
but Kuzma's our only scorer, like off the bench.
Bro, our only scorer, and KCP scoring more points than him, man. Totally, I apologize to the public because I was giving KCP so much shit in the beginning of the season.
We
was like, surely, come on,
who is KCP?
Man. Bro, but like now he's doing his job. Like he's doing his job. But Kuzma, his job is just to score points from the second unit. So like the man's doing these 360 fadeaways when there's no one around him. Like, so like, come on, man, you might always playing horse out there. Right? Like, we're trying to win a championship, man. So I reckon we should have traded him, got a Morris or like someone stable, man. But like hopefully Darren Collison, he's a real good 3-point shooter, catch and shoot. So see how we go anyway, man. But no, I'm excited about the season. We're gonna beat the Clippers.
100%. All right, also, well, big thank you for coming, and
man.
we really appreciate it.
100%.
For making your way out here, especially with the rain. For those listeners out there, is a lot of detours. My mate had to come through
4 cyclones to come in. Totally, I was brand new the man. I thought it was just by Manly. My auntie lives in Brisbane. She lives down the road. That's how far. Nah, but. Thanks, boys. Nah, seriously, thank you so much for having me on, man.
I appreciate it, Us. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone that's listening to the podcast. Hopefully you guys learned something.
But big thank you. We up.
Keep killing.
We up. Yo, it's your boy Skibby here, coming through the Honest 2 podcast. Thank you for listening. If you like that vibe, please like, share, and subscribe on all streaming and social media platforms. HT Dub. We out.